Welcome everyone to a brand new video. Today's video is on the conflict of Israel and Palestine. I'm going to try to explain it to the best of my abilities. I'm not an expert on the subject, but I do have some understanding on it. But before I begin, I would like to say that if you're not a subscriber to this channel, please go ahead, do it right now. Click on the subscribe button, then click on the bell and choose the option all. You will be notified when I create a new video and it's uploaded. This conflict has been going on since 1946. Some people say 1948, but because everything starts way before. The conflict is actually noticeable to everybody. The military forces of Israel receive 3.8 billion US dollars, and the majority of that money is used for military purposes. Israel forces use missiles, multiple missiles, and they attack. Of course, missiles and rockets, it's analog technology, digital technology. That's the huge difference. So, and the Israel carry out about 20 massive airstrikes. We're talking about 2020 technology. After exchanging weapons and many people dying, tens of thousands, hundreds of people dying on the side of Israel, and tens of people dying in the part of Israel, they finally signed a ceasefire contract. And this only happened because Iran got involved, and also Russia. And there was an effort made before this, but Biden vetoed these efforts. The war continued, but eventually, when Iran got involved and Russia got involved, and three of Israelis' tanks got destroyed by unanimous without the help of the U.S., they decided to sign the ceasefire treaty, which didn't last long, because this picture that you're seeing right now is what happened a few hours after the treaty. So the treaty was signed on Thursday around 2 p.m. People felt that they could go pray, celebrate the ceasefire, and they were attacked by this. But like I said at the beginning, this never stops. When we get to hear it is when it gets to the level where a war is about to explode. And that's only when other forces see that the aggression against Palestinians is to the point where, my goodness, I can't see this anymore. I can't just stand to watch this happen. But the Iranis, revolutionary forces, have expressed support to the Palestinian people at a level higher than before. Hopefully that will stop Netanyahu and his militant and its army from... You cannot say you are the victim when you are kicking people, evicting people from their homes, from their lands, burning those structures, and creating a mall or creating something else that only you can use. And I believe that international organizations should arbitrate in this without worrying about how other nations that finance finance them will what they will say, or that their financing will be cut down. Because I'm sure there are other nations that are willing to support them if their arbitration is more neutral. Because right now, human rights, the UN, they're not saying anything. The only time they say something is when things get elevated. Let's remember that these nations here in the Middle East, they are rich because they have oil. But the nations that are only allowed to purchase weapons and technology are those who serve the purpose to the North Atlantic organizations. Those are the only countries that have high technology, and a lot of it is in military to oppress the other nations. Friends, before I go, let me just say, Palestinians factions fire 4,000 rockets and kill 12 Israelis. In retaliation, Israelis forces launch attacks on targets online. And believe me, they didn't care that it was hospitals or buildings where media was installed. Al Jazeera, that news network, that building was destroyed. In that same building, you find AP network of North America, the US. And then, and that resulted in 230 Palestinians being killed, including 64 children. And this is according to health authorities. These are not numbers that I'm making up. The imbalance, right? It's obvious, the imbalance. Well, my friends, I hope that this conflict, it's a little bit more clear to you. And when people talk about the Bible, I don't really think the Bible should be involved in here. The Bible doesn't even talk about Israel. If you go back into history, Palestine existed when the Romans had control of that territories, and Palestine existed when the British had control of these territories, and even when the US had control of these territories, Palestine existed. Israel was created in 1946. Let's find the answers ourselves. You don't have to believe me, but at the same time, don't believe religious representatives because they are told what to say. They are told how to understand the Bible. So if you want to follow the Bible, you read the Bible and you understand it, and you make your own understanding of it. Analyze it, and whatever you believe the answer is, it will be better than what other people are telling you. Because a lot of people who we trust tells us that we have to give money, that if we don't do this, God won't do that. And that's not true. At the end, we have been disappointed many times. God doesn't care for money. But thank you so much for your time, and I do hope that this helps you a lot. Don't forget to share it. Till next video. Ciao, ciao for now.